Zelda games are special. They aren't hard, they aren't complex, but they mean something to so many people. Prime example of this are Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. These two games defined what Zelda is and would become. But I have a confession to make. I don't like Ocarina of Time. Now, before you grab your pitchforks, hear me out. I don't think Ocarina of Time is a bad game. Far from it. But there is this meme that I will never finish a Let's Play of it, and let's be honest, Let's Play is dead on YouTube. But I'm not here to talk about why I don't like Ocarina of Time. Well, actually, I am. It's very simple. It wasn't my first Zelda game. Now, what do I mean by this? I've played other Zelda games, and I do quite enjoy Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, all that stuff. So why is that? Maybe it's because there is another game that came out for the N64 that has the same assets and a more interesting mechanic. That's right. Today we're going to be looking at the superior N64 Zelda game. But that doesn't really mean much because they both look and play kinda horribly. And there go our 16 subscribers. This game is notorious for being the weirdest, darkest, and creepiest Zelda game. From the design of Majora's Mask itself to the themes presented in the game. There are things that are genuinely unsettling in ways that I didn't think possible. So with all that in mind, let's get started. The game starts with Link traveling through some spooky woods with Epona, presumably searching for Navi as indicated by this helpful text that is nowhere near as long as Wind Waker's opening, thank God. They are then attacked by the Skull Kid, sporting Majora's Mask with his two fairy companions, Tattle and Tail. God, I wonder what their names mean together. The Skull Kid picks up Link's Ocarina and... Wait a second. How the fuck does he have the Ocarina of Time? At the end of Ocarina, he gives the Ocarina to Zelda and she sends him back in time. Well, fuck, the Zelda lore was already fucked at the timeline, so let's just ignore that, I guess. After playing very horribly, Link gets back up, and the Skull Kid just straight up takes Epona. Link jumps on and... Oh my god, that's not good for you, Link. Ouch. After falling off and catching up to the Skull Kid with some insane hops, really, man, like, look at that. Bad shit starts to go down. We find out that the Skull Kid just straight up got rid of Epona, and then turns Link into a fucking Deku scrub. This is not only horrible for Link, but also for the player, because who the fuck wants to be a Deku scrub? In Ocarina, there's little douchebags that just sit around hiding passwords from you in like the early dungeons and then selling you overpriced items. And they do that in this game too. What's wrong with them? Link gives chase, but is then bullied by Tattle, who is then locked in the room with you. She then berates you for getting her left behind, even though it was her fault, and the two of you are now just kind of locked in this journey together. It doesn't really say why she just stays with you, but you know, fuck it. It's not long after getting introduced to some nice game mechanics until you meet the Happy Mask Salesman.
Look at him, watching me.
I hate this guy. He very creepily tells you that a certain mask was stolen from him, and he needs it back in 3 days since he is leaving town on the 3rd day. If you return the mask, he returns you to your original form. Well, shit, that sounds like a deal to me. And now we enter Clock Town. Ooh, that's some good jams right there. Oh, welcome to Clocktown, ladies and gentlemen. Clocktown is amazing. And I don't care if you think that I'm overhyping it. The town is split up into 4 parts. North, South, East, West. Each part of Clocktown has its own thing going on as well. West Clocktown's a shopping district, and honestly, this is the only one that matters because you're going to be coming here only for this nice piece of meat. But as you're introduced to Clocktown, you are also introduced to the first main gimmick of this game. Time. Yes, everything in this game runs off of time. Every NPC has a schedule for the 3 days, and they will follow no matter what, unless you interfere with certain side quests and whatnot. And oh my god, do I love this. This makes it so you have to schedule time out of your playthrough if you want certain events to happen, whether it be for heart pieces or to fill out the bomber's notebook. More on that later. So the game has started. What can you do? Well, you can walk around, talk to NPCs, grab a heart piece or two, and that's it. Yep. Since you are a Deku Scrub, people treat you as a child, and they will not let you leave town. So you're stuck here. I'm serious. All you can do is wait, and you know, you can explore too, so that's a little important. You might need that to kind of start the game proper, so go explore a little bit. After dicking around in Clock Town, 3 days pass and the carnival begins. This is your chance to go fight the Skull Kid. And after arriving at the top of the clock tower, the Skull Kid sits there and mocks you while messing with your ocarina. So what do? You fucking shoot him with bubbles. What else are you supposed to do? Somehow this stuns him and makes him drop the ocarina and trigger a flashback that never happened. Again, why Zelda lore? You're not making any sense. In this flashback, Link remembers the Song of Time that apparently Zelda taught him, and then plays it on his Deku pipes. Oh, okay, I like how the instrument changes. It's cool. You play the Song of Time, and the cycle resets. Welcome to Clock Town. Since you have regained your ocarina, you head back inside the tower to meet with the happy mask salesman who teaches you the Song of Healing. The song that everyone puts over Majora's Mask footage or creepypastas for some reason. Looking at you, Ben! We are now introduced to the second main gimmick of the game. Masks. Throughout the game, you will acquire masks. 24 in total, with 3, technically 4, being masks that change your form entirely. The first being the Deku Mask. Now, with Ocarina in hand and being back in your real form, the journey can now officially start. This game is unique in many ways, as there are things slightly different or missing altogether. The main one being the Master Sword. Yeah, it's not in this game. Another change is the pieces of hearts. While they are mechanically the same, there are only 4 dungeons. 4 dungeons means only 4 heart containers. Only 4 heart containers means 52 pieces of hearts. Yikes. But hey, I just 100% the game on this playthrough, so if I can do it, you can too. So how does this game handle everything? Well, as I said, there are only 4 main dungeons, so this game makes up for this with there being a shitload of side quests, including the best side quest in Zelda history, Fight Me. This is where the Bomber's Notebook comes in. It tracks every person that has a major side quest or event associated with them and tells you what you have done, the rewards you've gotten, stuff like that. Using this, you can see if you've finished a quest and how many more you have to do in general. Thank God this exists, otherwise I'd be living on the internet trying to figure out how to do everything with my life. Wait. Also, I will mention that the notebook broke my emulation multiple times every time I opened it, basically. Now, if only there was some convenient legal way to emulate in which I pay Nintendo to play an old game I have already played before, and it could even be portable due to being on the Nintendo Switch. Well, shit, I can't think of anything. It doesn't matter, though, because emulation is completely flawless whatsoever. Right? These side quests, as I mentioned earlier, can range from making chickens grow up to stopping ghosts from abducting cows and a little girl. What the fuck, Majora's Mask? As you progress further in the game, more side quests open up and oh my god, I love this game. Fuck you, Ocarina.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
All the normal non-transformation masks are useless. Due to these side quests, most if not all the masks are useful. Most. But the uncontested god among masks is the bunny hood. This magical piece of clothing makes you run faster. Seems simple, that's because it is, and you will use this a lot. Trust me, it just happens. The masks may make things easier, as they may be required for pieces of heart down the road to make it so you don't die. You know, that's a little important. The temples are very important for this game due to there being only 4 of them, as I had stated earlier. So how do they do? Pretty great, except for this one. More on that later. They are well-paced and fun, yes, even this game's water temple. Now, water temples are very harshly judged in the community because of the water temple from Ocarina and just them being kind of meh overall. And, well, yeah, it is annoying in the 3DS version. It's a lot more tolerable. The Ocarina temple, that is. But back to Majora's Mask. How do they make the water temple fun? Zora Link. This is a big boy, can swim like a fucking dolphin. And it's so fun to use, provided you don't bonk into everything while swimming, like in the dungeon, like I do over and over and over again. Combine that with stray fairy placement being nice and the main mechanic of the dungeon itself not being very annoying at all, you've got yourself one of my favorite temples in the series. Plus, the music is pretty nice and it sounds amazing atmospherically. Sounds like piping and shit. Seriously. Good job, Great Bay Temple. A+ from me. Another temple that I think is a standout is Woodfall. The music combined with, again, atmosphere is perfect. You know, that's something that Majora's Mask does very well now that I'm thinking about it. The mini-boss isn't as boring as Snowhead's, and the boss is... he's amazing. While he may be easy if you can get enough arrow shots on him to stun him, it's just a duel. Classic duel rules. First one to die loses. And the puzzles for all of the temples, they aren't the greatest, but they are really such a blast to play through. Then we get to Snowhead, where the thickest of them all comes into play, and... Hold on, I gotta gush about Goron Link. On top of being thick, he is very fun to travel as. He is the fastest mode of transportation in the game, so eat your heart out, Epona. He is nice to control and has a very fair way of staying fast as fuck, boy, which is magic. And magic functions are about the same as it does in Ocarina, so no complaints here. But Snowhead is the temple, is the embodiment of mediocre. I don't hate this temple, but I don't look forward to it like I do Snow Peak and Twilight Princess, which has its own issues. Also, they're not very creative with naming snow temples, are they? The puzzles, again, aren't the best, and the mini-boss is just gross and boring, and it's not fun. On top of that, every time I play through this temple, for some fucking reason, I always get lost and turned around and confused and scared, and someone please help me, I'm lost. I already said that, didn't I? But to nothing. Nothing is worse than the Stone Tower Temple. As a temple, I love it. But this thing can go fuck itself. Why? Take a listen. Oh, it's just an Ocarina song, right? It's not a way of life. It's not difficult, you know? What I just played was every single time I had played the Elegy of Emptiness, or Elegy, whatever the fuck, I don't care, in my playthrough. You have to play the song, wait for it to finish, then wait for the statue to spawn. This song alone makes me hate this temple with every fiber of my being, and you know what? Fuck it, I'm ripping into this temple. Half of the shit in this temple is done when the temple is right side up. But then you have to leave, and you gotta turn it upside down. So when you leave, you gotta play the Elegy of Emptiness once to access the flipping point. Then you can go fight the boss. You know, when it's upside down, go do the rest of the dungeon, get access to the boss. But if you want all the stray fairies, you gotta leave, flip the temple again by playing it. Then on the other side, you gotta play the Elegy of Emptiness 3 more times to make the path to get back over into the temple. Then, when you get the fairies, you gotta leave, you gotta play the Elegy one more time so you can flip the temple so it's upside down so you can access the boss. Speaking of stray fairies, they're pretty cool. Each temple has 15 stray fairies to find, and once you get all of them, you can take them to the nearby Great Fairy Shrine to put them back together. Each Great Fairy gives you a cool reward, so I recommend finding all of the fairies. Another thing that's pretty cool is that the area will permanently change after the defeat of each boss. I say permanently, but you know, you gotta reset the time loop and all that. So even more side quest opportunities and piece of heart opportunities open up, so yay! But why are we doing all these temples? Well, during your first meeting with the Skull Kid, Tail, the other fairy that stayed with him, mentions 4 beings in the vicinity of the temples. These 4 beings are your only hope in stopping the moon from crashing. Oh yeah, there is an angry moon coming down from the sky. How did I forget to mention that? I don't know. But clearing a temple once frees one of these big boys. Once you clear all 4, you can start the ending of the game. Oh my god, the big boys are gross. Oh. Shit, this looks just like
Elysium.
when you go inside the moon, all of the children are the Happy Mask salesmen, and each one wants you to give them masks. It's pretty unsettling that they just say they just say more, with no emotion at all, and even Link backs up a bit with every mask he gives them. Though with every mask given to the Moon Children, it's time to end this game once and for all. But before that, Majora gives you the Fierce Deity mask. This mask allows you to kill the final boss in under 2 minutes. Well, shit.
Start? I don't feel so good.
This game is special to me. It was my first Zelda game, and I will never forget it. And while I have loved other Zelda games, this one will always be on top. Or will it? Okay, well, now let's get serious. While I have sucked this game off for a bit, there are still issues that plague N64 Zelda in general. First being low frame rate, but you get used to it, it's not that bad. But I'm talking more technical issues like giant hitboxes, janky mechanics, and just being, well, not being, but feeling unpolished in a way future Zelda titles aren't. While these are mostly faults of the console generation, they're still important enough to mention. I will agree that the N64 had some great games, but as a whole, very few hold up well today. But regardless of what I think of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, these 2 Zelda games, mainly Ocarina, but these 2, changed the genre more than any other Zelda game. Except for maybe Breath of the Wild, that did some cool things with the formula. But with that, that's the end of the video. I'm not gonna give game numerical ratings or enjoyment things anymore, as anyone can interpret them differently. But I highly recommend playing both Ocarina and Majora's Mask if you haven't. If you want convenience, there are 3DS remakes that are very high quality. This has been another episode of That Game Review Show. Crab of War 2, signing out.